the centre-back. Some may say you find them on a Saturday night dancing away in a club, but today we are talking about the Premier League centre-backs. But who are the top 5 centre-backs in the Premier League? We will start it off with 5th. It's obviously Wout Faes. Number 4, Harwood Bellis, shagging Roy Keane's daughter.
Really?
Number 3, Tyrone Mings.
Is being checked by VAR there.
Number 2, De Ligt. And of course, number 1, the GOAT, as some people say. He likes to message Astrid wet. Jarrell Kwanzaa.
What?
In your f***ing dreams, them guys are shit. We'll start off again. Number 5 is going to be a man who I think is very, very good at the moment. He has good competition, and the way he's been playing is very, very good. He's quick, he's strong, he's agile, he can head the ball, he can tackle, he can score goals, he's got it all. And he's got into the French team recently. His name is Ibrahim Konate. What an absolute unit, because his partnership with Virgil van Dijk, and even seasons when Van Dijk might have been injured and he's been there, he has really shone through. A really good progressive ball-playing centre-back who isn't scared to drive into that midfield, you know. We're driving a car, Konate's there, and he's willing to put down the accelerator. He goes number 5. Some may rate him higher. And now, realistically, you might be thinking, who could be better than Konate? Well, there's one man, and number 4 this sits in, he could be controversial because he's currently injured. And he sometimes goes to Jamaica, smokes a spliff, and says, Wagwan Generals. It's Jonathan Stones.
Wagwan Generals.
Because that man, for Man City, regardless, he's not a midfielder, all right? I know he might play in that progressive role some ways. He's a centre-back. For England, he plays centre-back. For Man City, he's a centre-back. Deal with it. On FIFA, you fucking look at John Stones and see CDM. No. But he's there, and even though he's been injured for a majority of this season, when he has played, he has stepped up and really provided the goods, you know. He provided that winner against Wolves all those many moons ago before they went on that losing run. People talk about Rodri, but do you talk about Johnny Stones? Because even for England, on the big stage, for Man City, he can do it all, baby. So he goes in at number 4 because on his day, and that's the thing you say, he's the 4th best player in the Premier League. Well, he's pretty consistent, you know. He doesn't make too many mistakes. And when he is back to full fitness, I assure you, he's one of the very, very best. Now we go to the other side of the centre-back partnership, Ruben Diaz. Now this man did get hyped up consistently last season, and realistically, he has been very, very shit this season. But it's the current Premier League centre-backs who are there based on how they perform over seasons, all right? It's not based on current form. It's based on just who's currently in the league table. I've put Ruben Diaz there because that man has won how many Premier League trophies now at Man City? He won the Champions League. He came in, really put his stamp on him, since he was like the almost Virgil van Dijk version 2 in the way that he comes in and has an impact. You know what I mean? And ultimately, yes, they have been fragile the last remaining games, and they go back to winning ways. But Diaz is a leader. He's back in the team. He's shoring up that defence, and he had a ragged time against Liverpool and getting pulled about by Mo Salah. But in the end, you have to give and you give and you give and you take. Giving you, giving you, giving you, take. Pushing and pushing and pulling away. But Ruben Diaz is the man. 3rd place. And if you're arguing at all with these, argue about the order. But Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Ibrahim Konate, they're 3 fucking solid centre-backs, and they would improve most teams. Now, these other 2, top 2, you're probably all shouting at the camera, who's missing, who's missing? Number 2, he scored with his ass recently. It's Salibas. That man has pace for days and ultimately did struggle sometimes in the French national team. But for Arsenal, he's wicked. From set pieces, they're disgusting. And majority of the time, he is wonderful. World class. He had a great season last season and has really had a decent start this season as well. He's your man who you can count on. Solid, very, very quick, can deal with balls in behind, can head them away, he's strong. There is clips, of course, where he gets rinsed, as there is with every single centre-back. But I think you look at the defenders in the league and you put Saliba up there. Number 2, the French Don. He won't be eating any croissants because he knows that his diet He might gain a little bit of weight and get a bit more heavier, just like the centre-backs we see in the club. So, number 1. He's Dutch, he's tall, he wears a man bun. Virgil van Dijk. And this man is a Rolls Royce as a centre-back. Could he be in the all-time great? Potentially. I saw a very good clip, actually, recently, comparing Van Dijk to John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. And I do think Virgil van Dijk in this generation is the best centre-back that there is. His quality is pocketed Haaland. And on occasions, when he has been poor, a few seasons ago, he's got slipped up. But ultimately, he's very consistent, kept the clean sheets, is the leader at the back, captain in Liverpool now. You do compare, and I think he's better than fucking Vidic and all these man who comparing to him. Sol Campbell, he gets compared to Vidic a lot. Vidic, I remember growing up watching him and Ferdinand, and don't blame me if I'm wrong, but this was like around the 2007, 2009 where Alex Ferguson had that second team. I know Vidic came in, but for me, it felt like it was only 2, maybe 3 seasons of Vidic being good. Virgil van Dijk has surpassed that, and even though he doesn't get stuck in all the time, he gets a yellow card here, there, and everywhere, he does what he's needed to do. He's a beautiful centre-back, a great man, and that's why he's number 1 at the moment. But the conversation between John Teza and Rio Ferdinand, the strikers they came up against consistently on a week-by-week basis, Drogba, Thierry Henry, there's a lot. Like, you look at the top 6 traditionally, Man City, Aguero, I'm not saying fucking some of them retired at that point, or John Terry, but you know what I mean? They've gone through the ages, coming up against strikers really good week in, week out, whereas now, Van Dijk really only has to care about Haaland. There is Ollie Watkins, say Solanke, but compared to the past, I know there's a nostalgia thing, but they were better, let's be real. And even now, you look at the strikers of nowadays, who is there left who's a classic striker? Even Harry Kane's had to adapt, but you would say Harry Kane, Haaland, and Lewandowski. Can you name anyone else realistically who is on a level of, wow, they're world class, they're amazing, who's a really good striker? Majority of them now are from the wing. You've got like Vinicius, Salah, who is trying to score goals, and they play almost as like an inverted forward. And Mbappe gets played up front, but he's naturally a winger. Fucking Liverpool don't even have a striker. Man City have got Haaland. Arsenal not with a striker. There's always like a false 9 role, and it's a way of interchanging now. And a lot of the time, wingers who play up top, like Real Madrid's before Mbappe came in, they sometimes play Rodrigo up top. You had Benzema, but now he's gone to Saudi. Ronaldo's not Ronaldo anymore. It's very much about the wingers scoring the goals at the moment, and the 9 just occupying a space, or sometimes being a winger that can just get in behind. So it has changed a lot. So would I say Van Dijk is the best centre-back ever? No. But I think he deserves to be mentioned along Rio Ferdinand and John Terry. He probably doesn't win that argument, to be honest. If you're looking at it through clear glasses, ultimately, I didn't see fucking Rio Ferdinand and John Terry throughout the whole of their career. I saw it when there was the tail end of their prime and when they retired. But they was pretty good, you know what I mean? I remember loading up FIFA 40 and thinking, John Terry 82 though, what the hell's happened here? You've got 59 pace, mate. But anyway, that's the list. Boom. Argue with it if you want. It's pretty good. And at the moment, them defenders are some of the best in the Premier League. Consistent, keeping clean sheets. They don't really get too many tackles wrong, and they don't get exposed too much. You could complement that to other players, but ultimately, if you remove them from their team are weakened and suffer a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Bye-bye.